You think every relationship that Puff was in, like main one, like from Kim to Cassie to whoever he was dealing with, you think all of them was toxic?
All of them was toxic. All of them, well, toxic. What we call toxic might not be what they think is toxic until over time. But I think they all played their part. They all played their part, and it was an agreement between all parties.
Sweep it up like a broom, the elephants in the room. Feeling like MJ, I walk it out on the moon. These boys faster than Zoom, I'm floating like a balloon. From the womb to the tomb, I'm repping the green room. Yeah.
What up, what up, what up, world? Welcome to the Green Room with Gippy Lee and Glue, and I'm your host who does the most, Gipp Star, aka Gippy, aka Mojo, aka Cocky Bell Boy, aka you can call me whatever you want, but just don't call me Collect.
And I'm your co-host, Glow the Hottie, CEO of God is Body.
What up,
What's up, baby?
man? Again, episode 5 with you, and episode 17. So welcome to episode 17, honey. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It was a beautiful day today. I love the weather today.
For real,
I love the sunshine. So yeah.
man. We got something deep. We got a good deep conversation for you, and that's what I want to talk about. Some shit involving relationships and all that, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before we get into anything, y'all, before we get to anything, make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel, Gippstar, ENT, GIPPSTAR, ENT. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm about to say, y'all. Y'all know what I'm about to say. You know what I'm saying? Episode 17 is sponsored by Goddess Body. Ladies, go get your shapers, go get your fire highs, go get your waist trainers. Located at the Oakwood Shopping Mall. I'm gonna say it once, I'm gonna say it twice, I'm gonna say it 3 times, or I'm gonna say it 4 times. I'm gonna keep saying this shit. Ladies, if you got curves and you hot,
God
Goddess
is
Body
Body
is
is
the
the
spot.
spot.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's get it. My favorite. My favorite.
Wardrobe provided by Toby Hilfiger. Go get your garments and accessories located at any Hilfiger outlet, located in the country, better yet the world. Man, let's talk about that Diddy verdict today.
The verdict came in, and wow, the reactions was over the top.
Man, but I got some I got some real shit to say about that. The shit was dumb from the get go. Cause it seemed like they were just testifying about the man having freak offs and shit like that. And this judge, after he got 3 not guilties on the main charges that was gonna send him to jail for life, he can't get a bond on the 2 light guilty ones. Some
Right.
bullshit.
He is a new judge in position, so he consulted a few colleagues, but they say they're gonna hold him because they didn't grant the bond in the beginning for the reasons they think that Puff Daddy is a threat.
So tell me
But
this. Tell me this. Tell me this. Not to cut you off. Tell me this.
right.
You think every relationship that Puff was in, like main one, like from Kim to Cassie to whoever he was dealing with, you think all of them was toxic?
All of them was toxic. All of them, well, toxic. What we call toxic might not be what they think is toxic until over time. But I think they all played their part. They all played their part, and it was an agreement between all parties.
But that toxic shit though, it's crazy.
It definitely was crazy.
When there's a toxic relationship, nobody don't want to leave the relationship. I don't get it. It gotta be something major, 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 and it takes. And to be honest with y'all,
Well, he's a billionaire. That's one real
yeah,
reason why the women would not leave.
yeah.
They live carefree.
So and just say if he wasn't a billionaire, let's just speak on to the dudes who's not rich and
Right.
dealing with toxic relationships.
Okay.
It takes years to end that shit.
Right.
I
It
was in a
takes.
toxic relationship,
Okay.
you know. I was in a toxic relationship, and I'm not about to bash none of my exes and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not to bash none of them, but I was in a toxic relationship that lasted for years. You know, it ain't like if you see a flaw, you gonna get the fuck. Well, I would now. Well, I'm not saying with you. You know what I'm saying? If I was single, you know what I'm saying? I see a flaw, I'm gone. But you know, like when you was dealing with somebody, and you get involved with them, and the feelings and the emotions get involved, it's hard to leave that toxic relationship, man. You know, you didn't see that shit before.
Right. It's definitely hard to leave, especially if you have a abuser in play that's threatening you with something. It don't have to be with abuse. It could be with money, power.
But 90% of the time, a toxic relationship have to deal with abuse.
Right. 90% of the time,
You
but
saw
not
what he
all
did,
the
Cassie, in
time.
the fucking in the hotel.
That's what he did, Cassie, but he never hit you on Miami.
No, ain't a
And
thing.
all this is
Abuse is abuse.
allegedly. Abuse is abuse.
Abuse is
Any
abuse.
type of abuse. Mental, physically, financial.
You don't think he
All
probably,
are abuse.
and with money like that, you don't think he mentally abused women? He could have
Well,
told
I
Miami,
can't
well, bitch,
see.
get the fuck. You know what I'm saying? And just go on good terms.
But she said that he never did those things to her. She came out and said that. So we can't allude to something that was never said.
That's true. That's true. But back to the toxic relationship, like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's like a initiation of a game that you can't get out, like
Oh, you could get out.
in,
It's whether
in
you
due
want to get
time.
out.
In due
Right.
time. They're just like, I'm gonna speak for the fellas. I'm gonna speak for the fellas. Put the camera on me. Y'all know what time it is. Put the
Let's
camera on me.
hear it.
Put the camera on me. Like, this is what I think about toxic relationships. You see, like, the female doing you wrong. The female doing you wrong, you know what I'm saying? Y'all fighting this and fighting that, you know what I'm saying? But my opinion, I think it's the sex and the emotions that make a motherfucker keep coming back. Like Boosie said, you did. Oh man, the pussy's so good, you keep going back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but to fight and make up, that's another theory.
That's
Maybe they
toxic.
wanna fight and make up. I'm not sure, but
That's toxic. 'Cause think, man, look here.
that's not a way to live.
It's not. I've been with you for quite a while, a nice, good long time,
That's right.
and I never thought in my mind to be abusive to you and try to fuck around and make up. I mean, we ain't even never got to that. I ain't gonna say yet, but we don't get to
Oh
that.
no, yet, yes, because that's not gonna
Cause
happen.
like I didn't seen this shit.
Right. I
Like
have seen a
like
lot
one
of
person told me,
abusive
I mean, this was a female. This was the female. Look what the bitch tell me. She tells me love so hard to jump out of. How? With a black eye?
Mm,
I think that's fear.
no, maybe they like it.
Cause me like
Some women,
like
I don't know.
I'm gonna speak on me again. I was dealing with a chick and I fell off. Like when I fell off, you know what I'm saying? Kinda, she was like, I was vulnerable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was vulnerable when I fell off and lost the relationship with my first one and all that. You know, vulnerable because my style is not to live there and mess with a chick with a lot of children. But I broke my own rule because I was vulnerable and like she was keeping it real.
Okay. If she was keeping it real, what happened for y'all to, part
Like
ways?
some of it is like ownership, and this for men, fellas,
Mhm.
you're still homeless. I don't give a fuck if you live there and was with your girl 3 4 years. If she got a crib in her name, you still is homeless, regardless to the fact. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes one day to say get out,
Right.
and that ownership. You know what I'm
You
saying?
still.
And the ownership of you know what I'm saying? The ownership of shit is like, hey, it's my way or the highway.
Right.
Like if this chick got her own house and all that and shit like that, you know. Now, but the shoe was on the other foot. This bitch probably have to lay up there and walk on thin ice. And that's just my opinion. Period.
Right. I had saw something on Instagram where a guy he asked the lady, he said if you're not into a guy, he asked her, if you're not into the guy, why do you continue on texting him? And you know what she said?
What?
She said because he was convenient. I got a mosquito. It's biting me.
Convenient. But like, damn, you fucking up the fuming with this shit. Oh,
Sorry, honey.
she was convenient. But if he would have knew that she thought he was convenient, she was convenient too.
Right.
Because
That's
if
now
he didn't
that's another
fuck,
way to look
if he
at
didn't
it.
fuck, yeah, he was very well. He was very well convenient. But if he fucked or had sex, whatever y'all want to call it, we just keeping it real. Bitch, you
Right.
was convenient too. You just laying up there
Why
just
she
saying
thinking
your
she
side of the story.
right,
Bitch, you was
right.
convenient too. Because both of y'all got a nut. Straight up.
Well, okay, that's the way that it ain't tricking if you got it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I think that was? That was a dumbass question, a dumbass answer she said.
It was a dumb
Because the
answer.
man could have laid up there and said, well, shit, she wasn't saying that when she was sucking my dick. Or she can come back and
Well,
say
he
it.
wasn't the one answering the question. It was a
But
street,
but I'm saying like the
podcaster.
other way around. If it was the other way around, because if she was saying like he was just convenient, she just talking about the side of her story. But what
Right.
about your convenience? What you was convenience of? And now if you laid up there and said you wasn't convenient to nothing, you're downgrading yourself. You're lowballing yourself. Because a woman always should step up too. If a man stepping up for you, you should step up too. If you don't think you feel like I have to step up, just like the man, you're downgrading yourself. You're being ratchet, then it turns you into a hood rat. Period.
I got a question. What you think about Brittany Runner? She was changing her life for to be with.
Kevin Gates.
Yes, and then they end up not being together.
I think that was just for the media, internet. Because first
Right.
of all, we
Okay.
never laid up there and heard nothing about you was divorced Drika. I never heard about them getting a divorce.
Right. Okay.
So you mean to tell me you married this bitch for 52 days in the USA, a whole crime committed,
Right. Okay.
and nobody said nothing about it?
Well, that's a good point. So it
In the
probably
state of
was.
California?
Right.
Yeah, man, that was some bullshit. That's phony. Now maybe she was probably calling him hubby
Okay.
because she
Like.
treated him like a husband, but they wasn't legally married.
Okay. Okay. I
But
understand.
you know, and I think that was some sucker shit too.
Do you think a woman should change to cater to a man, like as far as the lifestyle as she like?
No, I think it should be catered both ways.
Okay.
I think it should be catered both ways. Cause like, all right, a woman should be catered. I mean, if a woman should cater a man, it have to goes on every day.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Now, what about her birthday? What about Mother's Day?
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? What about Appreciation Day? What about Christmas? What about Valentine's Day? Ain't it'll be her turn to get catered to?
That's it. That's right. Unless you're getting catered to every day.
But I think, um, I think they should cater each other.
Okay.
Cause if you don't think you cater me, that's some bullshit. You
Oh,
know?
I already knew I
Yeah,
catered.
you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And we cater each other
Yes.
every day, and just like I make sure she makes sure I have, and that's what a marriage is supposed to be about.
That's
Not
it.
toxic relationships. And I seen them.
Yes.
I seen
Definitely.
them.
Definitely.
I seen shit worse
Been
than.
through them. Been there, done that.
And,
Don't want
I
no
seen them
more.
and been through them too.
Yeah.
Like
done
one
that.
time, a chick was mad at me because I didn't give her the money she wanted. So this bitch started throwing my clothes out. So when you start throwing my clothes out, you know what I'm saying, out your house, that means this is your shit. You got no ownership of this shit, Mojo. So take your shit and go by your people and live better. And that's what I did.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Until you met me.
Of course. Of course. So what you think about how can I say, compromise?
Compromise is
Because
the biggest part of the
sometimes you don't want to do this thing that, and vice versa. Sometimes I probably don't want to do the thing that you don't want to do. I mean,
Right.
that I don't want to do that you want to do, but I have to compromise to it because let me tell you something. Me and you, this podcast together, this is a team. You
Right.
see, like if they had a dude right there, we have to lay up there and do shit just like me and the fellas do.
Right.
Everything from going down to like weddings with you to ball games with me.
Right.
The compromise of it. You know, and in a toxic relationship, there will never be compromise.
No, it's always fighting. But
Basically,
most
it's
toxic,
my way or the highway.
it
And
is.
that's never compromise.
Most toxic relationships that don't have no compromise and is always arguing is always outside people in the middle too. Cheating play a big part.
So like with the Puff Daddy thing with Kim,
Right.
she was being catered because she was dealing with a rich man, right?
Right.
But she was being abused too, so called allegedly,
Everything's allegedly
allegedly. But
that we
this say
talk about.
like the normal couple. Let's bring it down to the normal couple, the middle class, or the poor people.
The normal the normal couple, over time the woman ain't gonna put up with it. And then the normal couple have different problems than them.
Nine
Like
times
they
out of
they
10,
problem they actually they downfall really in like high profile relationships
yes.
is the type of people that they keep around them and some of the practices that they do. Like Diddy doing free calls got him in big trouble.
But at the
Actually
end of the
about to get
day,
life in prison.
but at the end of the
Crazy.
day, at the end of the day, it's like when enough is enough, you don't wind up having children with this motherfucker. Both sides. The dude had a baby with her, and the girl had a baby with him.
Yeah, but that's how he wanted it. I think around his relationship, it seemed sort of like a poly to me, like polynormous relationship to me. But they just ain't agree that they was gonna be together in one household. But if you really think about it, to me, it's it's one big old swanker party, and he ain't allowed them to have other partners though.
That's what I was saying.
Well,
Like
he did allow
that's
them
what
to
I'm
have
saying.
other
Like this.
partners, so it seemed
That's like
polynormous to me.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's all they was talking about in court. Shit that the state should have laid up there and presented, prosecuted.
Right.
That's all they was talking about. How this man was a big ass swinger.
Right, as I told you, I said he was gonna get found not guilty of all the charges except for prostitution.
So you think you're gonna get time or you gonna come out with probation? I say probation.
I
I
think
think they're gonna suspend the sentence and he gonna be take that, take that, take that.
right. You know the judge already said allegedly 41 months to 51 months by state law. So what's that? 4 to 5 years?
Yeah, that's
I don't.
60 months is 5 years.
Okay, so 4.5 years.
48 months is be 4 years. So if he get 41 months, he'll get about like
41 to 51.
3 years and probably 6 months, whatever.
Right. I think due to the the lower charges, and he never been convicted of a crime. When he go to court in October, he may walk home. Who knows? Or they may set an example of him and keep him for the 4 years.
Now let me ask you this. What if that was a person with no money?
A person with no
No money
money,
and caught those charges. You think he would have been blues?
yeah, he would have been blues because you have to have. Look at all the people he had on his defense team. What we thought was stupid was smart. When the defense didn't call no witnesses, or the whole world was how that's stupid. He don't have nobody going to their phone. This and that. He going to jail for months. They've been saying he's going to jail. He's going to do life in prison.
But I'm
This and
saying
that,
though,
and
what
it
if
was a
it?
different outcome
What
today.
what I asked you was,
Hmm.
what if that was a person with no money? Would he call the blues? Would he would have
He
got
would
sunk?
he would have been sunk.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
you
really
gotta
you
have
paying,
money to play.
really you paying to be free.
Right. He paid those lawyers millions of dollars, and he done paid millions of dollars to find evidence. He had like what, 4 lawyers?
Well, I'll be shocked if he do time.
I don't think he gonna me. I don't think
I
he's
think he gonna
gonna
do
do
probation.
time. Yeah,
You
yeah. I'd
know,
be shocked if they actually keep him
because
for the four to
I
five
think his
years.
family knows something. All that dancing and shit, you know what I'm saying?
They don't know the
For
world.
the verdict, all that, I think his family knows something.
The
Now,
world would
the bond, that was fucked up. That the judge denied him bond and he got to sit the whole summer all the way to October 3rd for sentencing, and he don't know what's gonna happen.
right.
But I think the family knows something.
The family didn't know nothing. They was celebrating.
The not guilty verdicts.
the not guilty for that RICO charge, which would have gave him life imprisonment, and then also the sex trafficking
Yeah.
charge, which would have also gave him maximum a life in prison.
But regardless to the fact, his life is ruined.
When he come home, you think he coming back home to Young Miami, who throwed up the T sign after the verdict?
Well, I don't think he
Allegedly
gonna
talking
come
about
home.
Diddy.
I don't
Allegedly.
think he gonna come home though. I think she gonna support him, but I don't think he gonna come home to him. But I think she's gonna support him.
Me, I think he gonna come home and build a empire around her,
Now,
around Young Miami.
well, that would have been
Back to what he was doing.
that would be the focus.
Right.
That would be a focus, but nobody ain't seeing it yet. So I don't think he ain't gonna do. I think just gonna just be there for the support. That's all I think is gonna be there for. But like this relationship shit, it's like it's like 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out.
Okay.
The relationship is like 1 foot in the grave. A toxic relationship.
Oh, a
A
toxic
toxic relationship. Let me
is
speak on that
okay.
because you look like what the fuck?
Right. I
Like
was
a
lost.
toxic relationship. That's like 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out. That just like you remember the bitch ass nigga who burnt his kids
Wow.
on America Street.
Yes,
So
that was
you gotta
very
live there
shocking
very toxic.
and very toxic.
So that just
Yes.
imagine what the woman had to deal through before all that happened.
Right. The man will never want to let the woman go. That's what happened with bringing back to like the Diddy case. I feel like he wouldn't let Kim fully go. That's why she never really moved on to another man.
What about Cassie? I think
Cassie,
Cassidy won't fully let go. She made herself leave because of the abuse, but this bitch didn't really want to leave.
she didn't want to leave because she wanted the money and the status. She didn't want to leave. But you got to remember, after you've been abused so long, do you think at some point in time the woman mind just goes and she's unable to think past what's right and what the future
But this
could hold?
2025, this 2025, she was a star at 2005, 2006. So like, basically, you already had the fame. You
Well,
already
she
had the
could have
fame.
went out and started her own empire, but she was already addicted to the lifestyle that Diddy was providing for her. I'll never understand it. I think it's Polly. It's Polly.
But no marriage wasn't involved. Nobody wasn't married for it to be a poly.
Right, but he had Kim until she passed.
Not
Cassie.
married. Not married.
He had Gina.
Not married.
I know, not married, but all of them knew he did tell them not that he wasn't in a relationship. So
Then he
I
had
don't know what
kids
to
for
call
Kim.
it. I don't know what
This
to
the
call
trip part about
it.
it
Him
is
and
with
Kim
this.
made a beautiful couple though.
This the trip part about it is like I'm gonna put myself in. What's the little boy named Christian Combs?
Yes.
Kim his mama, right?
Yes.
All right. Now if he knew about the abuse and all this shit about it, how can I respect my pops if he knew about the abuse and shit about going towards my mother? I'm just saying because I can be a mama's boy and all that, but my pops, like, you know, that just like when my pops and my mama, what this one time was. This one time, like, I came home from out of town because I was staying in Lafayette. And, like, my pops, my real pops, like, he hollered at my mama, like. So I stepped in, like, man, don't talk to her like that because my partner was there. Man, don't fucking talk to her like that. You ain't got no authority to talk to her like that. You know what I'm saying? Not in my presence. And I'm a grown man now.
Right.
Yeah, you not allowed to fuck around and disrespect my fucking mama
Well,
in my presence.
Well, he probably didn't see his mother and his father ever get into an argument.
I
That's
wouldn't
that's
give a
first, and then second, Diddy is who financially providing for him. So he probably said something behind closed doors, which we
but
don't know. And
but
then thirdly, they're just finding all this out at court,
but wait,
especially with the little girls. They
hold
was
on,
sheltered.
hold on. They grown, just like there's certain things you'll know when you were small and when you see. They can't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Because now if he was sheltered,
I definitely don't think they did that in front of them.
Shit. How shit came out though.
Well, how it
Like
came
with
out
how it
is you
came
say
out,
I is you say
you
I
know?
say. They don't know what to believe, honey.
Yeah, but that's manipulation though. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
If
they
these people
have been
saying these things about my mother
manipulated.
being hurt, you know what I'm saying? I would have to question him. Because the a person ain't gonna just keep saying this
And you
shit
think when
just
my
to
son come to me and I know I did something bad, I'm gonna say, "Oh yeah, I did it." No, he's gonna deny it to the fullest and leave
I
the children in the blind.
understand that. I understand that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But somewhere down the line, you could tell a lie from the truth. Because if these people on the outside coming with this, and they just trying to sabotage pops. They're not getting no money out of that shit. They never asked for no a lawsuit on you abusing Kim. They can't get no
Right.
money out of that.
Right. I think that in the long run, it's gonna dawn on them, and then they're gonna have more questions in the long run. As for now, I think they trying to. It's so traumatizing to them that they're trying to block it out, and they don't even want to address it
Yeah, man.
if they hadn't already behind closed doors.
Well, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think they know something and they just don't want to see. So, or maybe they was they had a better relationship with Puff than Kim.
Probably did because he took over the kids.
You know what I'm saying? They're just like
She didn't have a
a lot of
father.
fathers.
Right.
A lot of fathers, kids have better relationship with them than their mothers.
Yes, gonna
Yeah,
have a better relationship with the
yeah.
kids.
But if
Yes.
you're a project baby, like I was, you're gonna have a better relationship with your mother, regardless.
About it.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know now. One, they probably have maybe one or two dudes in the project that I grew up with. Probably had their father around, but they knew their daddy. People knew their daddy and all that. But I'm saying about a father around in the projects because that couldn't happen. The
Right.
daddy couldn't really be around in the projects like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
Yeah, that
that's
was a
just life though.
time.
So they probably had a better relationship with Puff than Kim.
Who knows?
Yeah. You got any final thoughts for the green room with Gipp and Glow?
My final thought is stay true to yourself, love yourself, and make sure that you put yourself first before anybody.
Well, look here. I'm gonna say this: love the next person. You know what I'm saying? Always love thy neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Because all these people around here saying they love God this, they love God that. You know what I'm saying? And they don't, and they can't love thy neighbor. How you gonna love somebody you never seen, but you see the person every day?
Love thy neighbor
Love
as
thy
you love
neighbor.
thyself.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
And that's all I
That's
got for you.
it.
You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned for the next episode, episode 18, for the Green Room with Gipp and Glow. And I'm your host who does the most, Gift Star, aka Gippy, aka Mojo, aka Cocky Bell Boy, aka you can call me what you want.
And I'm the shape queen. See you next time.
See you next time.
Peace.
Holla.
Sweep it up like a broom, the elephants in the room. Feeling like MJ, I walk it out on the moon. These boys faster than Zoom, I'm floating like a balloon. From the womb to the tomb, I'm repping the green room. Yeah.